Welcome to the Young Turks. The other day I was doing an interview with a guy named Tim Sullivan. He's actually a union contractor in Stamford, Connecticut. And there was this amazing story about how a corporation is now starting to vote like citizens. Now it's gotten to that point where they're voting on some quasi-governmental body. And Tim said something that really struck a chord with me. He said, it just keeps getting worse. And I thought, you know what, that is so true. I've now done thousands of stories on the Young Turks where the role of money in politics and corporate power has just gotten worse and worse. And I thought we should start a campaign where you all tell us your stories and we tell you stories where it gets worse until we, of course, fix it. Now, I've got a story like that for you today. It's a story of a guy named Stephen Law. He is the president and CEO of American Crossroads. Now, that's a Karl Rove group that was set up to actually help corporations. But they're running ads as if they were against the bank bailouts, against Democrats. In fact, the person who was most in favor of protecting consumer rights during this whole period was Elizabeth Warren. But now that she's running for senator in Massachusetts, they've got this ad pretending as if Elizabeth Warren was for the bailouts. Let's watch it.
The first thing I'm going to promise is that I'm going to be a voice in the room on behalf of middle-class families.
Really? Congress had Warren oversee how your tax dollars were spent, bailing out the same banks that helped cause the financial meltdown. Bailouts that helped pay big bonuses to bank executives while middle-class Americans lost out. Later, Warren went on a charm offensive with some of the same banks who got bailed out. Tell Professor Warren, we need jobs, not more bailouts and bigger government.
So here's an ad funded by a lot of the same companies that benefited from the bailouts, pretending they're against the bailouts and that Elizabeth Warren, who was trying to protect you, is for the bailouts. Now that is gross hypocrisy, but it gets worse. You know who Stephen Law is? Well, he might be the head of American Crossroads now, but in this previous job, he was the general counsel for the U.S. Chamber of Commerce's lobbying team. You know what the Chamber of Commerce lobbied for? The bank bailouts. He was the lead guy in the most important business organization, that is of course right-wing, arguing in favor of the bailouts. In fact, the AIG, JP Morgan Chase, Citigroup, Bank of America, all with the Chamber of Commerce, all pushing for the bailouts. This is the guy now running ads as if he was against the bailouts. Furthermore, the Chamber spent over $24 million just in the last 3 months of 2008 to make sure that those banks got those bailouts from American taxpayers. As if that wasn't enough, it gets worse. One more element. After they got the bailouts, Stephen Law was in charge of making sure that they continued to get their lavish bonuses. So the bankers who destroyed our economy, got the taxpayer bailout, got to keep their bonuses because of Stephen Law. But money has taken over politics so much that Stephen Law now gets to take all that same corporate money and use it to deceive the American people, to get them to believe the exact opposite of the truth, as if he was against the bailouts and Elizabeth Warren was for the bailouts. It's unbelievable, except you see a story like this every single day. And every day we don't get that money and corporate power out of politics, it gets worse. So send us your stories, because there are 1,000 of them across the country, and we want to hear them so that we can fix the system. We think the answer is Wolfpack. That's a super PAC we set up to make sure that corporations are not treated like human beings, because they are not. They do not have constitutional rights. And that we publicly finance our elections so that all of our politicians don't go through these obvious bribes where they take money from these corporate powers and they do their bidding. Our system is fundamentally broken, and you all have stories about that. So send us your videos, and we will put them up on our new channel, youtube.com/WolfpackHQ. That is the headquarters for Wolfpack now on YouTube. We will feature your videos. We'll show you how to put up the videos, how to submit them. Watch for the graphics here. Look at the box underneath to see how you can submit those videos. We can't wait to hear your stories. Let's start the It Gets Worse campaign so that all of America understands the depth of the problem and we can begin to fix it so it can get better.